You. After Alfred, this is how we stay, you and I, when the dying sun bleeds into the sky amongst your rainbow organized clatter and the air filtering through the shutters, murmured discourse across the coffee table as voices tenderly cosset like silken sable, romanced by the rapture which so easily enthralls our flirty festival, deaf to the Imam's call, the grandiosity of Moroccan gilage, so befitting the moment, colourfully beaming proudly without encroachment, darkness sifting into the room, a tagine ashtray with smoky plumes. In the Casbah, women stop and chat, talking of victory in the World Cup, strolling through the scattered stalls of the socks. As the dust nestled before settling on our skin, the musk and kufta infused air, our clothes drink in, the charmer and the serpent, charmed by the flute, down dehydrated alleyways with lumpy footpaths, who silently sigh imperialist epitaphs. Sunny fingers that poke through the arches, rubbing against our faces as she teasingly arches. Surely there is not enough time for the eternal soul to fully express the elation that rebukes the world's transgress. There is never enough time, clawing at our arms and baring its fangs, the ebbing humanity that lingers in turn as we scurried through the acrid alcoves where the air whispered of olive groves. There is never enough time to consume all the joy, to face the forces whose gluttony only destroys, time to put the world to rights over Ete, to stretch across sweeping space, to stay. In the Casbah, women stop and chat, talking of victory in the World Cup. There is not enough time to consider and reconsider the future's plans, to reprimand the existence that felt like a sham, to wonder when first the crows landed on the eye's corner, to console the beautiful fool, to choked, to challenge culture, tittering tongues, such a shame, an ungodly life, their pitying stares, feigning care, stabbing like a knife. I was once beautiful, my insecurities keeping me unaware. If I breathed you in and held my breath, could we stay, you and I, in eternity's depth. I have known them. I've known the men who sexted and courted, acquainted with the over-familiarity of breaking wind and poking orifices, the romance long since dimmed, the holidays and cheap hotel rooms where I faked love to fill the gloom, faded cigarette smoke and designer perfume. They will say, Matat slash. I too am familiar with them all. The rampant, looking for a booty call. The Thai restaurants with lemongrass walls. The sexual role play that disguises ennui. The TV flashing an old childhood matinee. Should I flinch at the judgment of your double standards, scouring my sullied skin to wash away the hands? I felt the hand that pinned my arms above my head, his fingers fat and collused like sausages. The invented drama that attempts to assuage the coarse stubble that pours at your cheeks, the restlessness that fuels rendezvous in car back seats, Chanel blue on your t-shirt, and I forget. What was I saying? I served myself bare. Are you shocked yet? When we were seated on the wall above the sea, the ocean dressed in a veil of encrusted diamonds, before the light shimmied into the ebony horizon. I should have accosted Father Time, cursed him for not granting more time. How the snow outside settles so comfortably, its Arctic breaths drifting in with the draft, presenting merriment, bringing chaos. Frosty rabid jaws that chill to the bone, pushing into our sensory nerves as we sit numbly, seeing your message flash on the phone. Your warmth surrounds me. I berate myself silently. This is not me. I scoff at love and the impossible reality sold. Am I a realist or a cynic? Maybe I am just too old. You knew I was afraid. I was terrified. After beef tagine and Moroccan fruit salad, after roll-ups and drooling ete, to selfishly stop the seconds to say, let us stay this way forever and a day, to tame the white noise with your varied ballad, to balance on that flicker, hurtling through the infinite universe, behind a devoured Mother Earth, to embrace that ecstasy into my pulse, to say, I am Aphrodite, here to engulf as my raging tides dissolve the gulf. Cliche, age mockingly snickers. amongst the dyed paintbrushes and unfinished tableaus, the water in the jar tinged with plum. The way you always place your hand behind your back as the other moves across the canvas like a bird in flight, simultaneously awed and I'm struck. You are somewhere else, in the contours only an artist knows. Glimpses of joy and sorrow in a coat of many colours, where we spoke only in the tongue of the land of our mother, our clothes tossed on the floor, the eyes who lap up and store a catalogue of mannerisms to recall. I pleaded with time to mercifully stall. Christmas looms and festivity finds no place in my will. Maybe the frenzied buying and gluttonous eating will obliviously pass me by if I just sit really still. The goodwill to all men as indelible as the greetings, the artificial tree still banished under the stairs, grudgingly goads me, my slavenly lock of care, taunting me with descent into malaise. But I am so tired and all out of rage. Should I fritter away my pittance on age-defying creams, popping silicone, eating superfood, washed down with green tea? I dismay at my wearied, sagging eyes, how my breasts no longer shun gravity. Time's unrelenting, harsh reality. He does not wait for me along the beach, footsteps tickling the tide, my black dress's hem dusted in the salt of the sea, me in a skewed hat. And it's the sun in your eyes. I would spend it all, consume it all, night and day, wildly laughing in the face of advancing grey. If I thought it would keep us forever this way. Thank you. Gnawa music. Softly seek to create and not destroy. Be free from the chains of the hoi polloi. Search to feel completely at one with the soulful beats of Gnawa drums. Fade into the Bordeaux floating light. Skip to the metal clamps of the cracker bite. Drift out of the flesh with the Gumbri strum. Vibrate from the crushing humdrum. Sway with the music like reeds lilting in the wind. Rejoice in the weightlessness of the soul's incline. Pilgrim to the tone's lonesome desert lute, alight upon a heavenly homeward commute. Thank you. And the last piece. The road to Murzuga. Leaving and ascending, weaving and bending. La ilaha illallah echoes from afar. The squat palm trees that sprout green feathered fountains, the dug trenches and abandoned tools on the floor. The arduous labour stops to heed the call for door. An aqua sky serenely welcomes formidable mountains. A mechanical beetle rising and falling. Amazi colours flicker past the eye. A patchwork of the fruitful and bone dry. Lethargic dogs in the shade, leisurely snoring. The simmering streets of Wurzezet, freshwater streams, Taitman Haddu, Hades Gorge, in the valley, we dally, flanked by clay monoliths. Clear water gushes from its seat, and we lean in to wet our lips. Still, the road ahead pushes into the horizon of gold and brilliant blue. The sun's sear shimmer like a fine spun bridal veil, delicately complementing her fiery stare without tear, blushing gold and opaque, trailing into the braised air. The groom, in an indigo head wrap, waits by the aisle. Rotund women in billowing cotton robes, with small children, wind through parched fields where relentless life still yields tufts of dehydrated defiance, barren brown and evergreen. An intrepid explorer relinquishing the hours of the day, forging through rock and dust. In Calison stews life's lust. Postcards of natural splendour, bathed in sumptuous rays. In the desert, an accompaniment of shadow camels on the way to the camp. Sprouting emerald where life still flowers, as the black beetles scurry and scour the droppings where quad bikes and jeeps leave swirling patterned stamps. Silhouettes reach out to greet the setting sun as camp tents welcome the heat-glazed caravan, delivered phosphorescent in kinship. Et autumn, wrapped in the throng, of the Derbuga Gymri strum. And the night has 1,000 eyes, all blinking and winking. The flames cleave into the blackness like orange tongues. The minty pours freely, coolly coating the tongue, untethered from the pressures that keep us silently thinking, living and thriving, releasing and arriving. The magic Sahara seductively seeps, lays me softer, lighter to sleep. Thank you.